All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Floyds Brewing Company, and they are out of Munster, Indiana, and this is their Turbo Reaper IPA. So this is a West Coast-style IPA that comes in at 7% alcohol by volume, 47 IBUs at the time of review, and this can is just over 6 weeks old. So got another beer here from Floyds. It's been a little while since I've reviewed something from them, and this is actually a year-round release from them. I have never seen it until recently, so I picked it up, and here we are. So I don't know anything about the ingredients. They have a little spiel on the side of the can that I'll hopefully remember to read at the end of the review. If not, it'll probably be in the description box, so you can check it out yourself. It's kind of generic, if I'm being honest with you, so not a big deal, but we'll see if I remember to read it or not. And I already spilled this. I don't know how, but I did. But not all the way. We're good. Try to get the entire can into this tiku. Beauty. So I really like the label art, as always, with Floyds. Their stuff is typically fantastic with the label art, so throw it over here. Well, my friends, that looks like a beautiful IPA. Has that burnt orange, kind of like vibrant orange color. On camera it's going to look more dull, but in person looks awesome. When you hold it up to light, it has like a sunshine kind of esque feel to it. It does have some haze. You can see the shadow of my hand, but I hold it up to the light. It definitely has more clarity. About a 2-finger, off-white, somewhat soap sudsy looking head, but it looks really nice. I would say, as far as like a West Coast IPA goes, that looks really nice. I would like to see more clarity, maybe slightly darker for going like old school West Coast. But if this is kind of like in the new school realm, I think it actually looks fucking beautiful. So let's get a nose. Very, very nice. It kind of smells like more of a new school West Coast IPA than an old school, because it's bursting with not only citrus aromas, so like sweet, orange, like an orange juice or like a ruby red grapefruit, a Tangelo, something like that, but it also has tropical. It's like a little bit of pineapple. There's some nice vibrant stone fruits, like punchy, dare I say bombastic. Shout out to Paul over at PA Brew News. And underneath that is a bready, kind of biscuity malt character. Not too big, but noticeable to some degree. Doesn't have like the old school, like, to me, old school West Coast IPAs, like classics, more often than not, have a lot of like bread caramel. I did spill a little bit over. What the fuck? How did I don't know how. Okay, I'm confused. There was stuff on the table and I'm not. Anyway, so for me, old school West Coast IPAs, bready caramel, then you get citrus, usually grapefruit, sometimes like orange, maybe like a pop of like a pineapple or some kind of tropical fruit, very minute, and then, you know, like a big resinous pine floral character on the finish for me. This has some of the newer school West Coast IPA vibes because it's more fruit forward. It's more vibrant with the fruit character. It's a little bit more intense. There's a touch of like a piney resinous kind of floral quality, maybe more like earthy than anything, slightly dank. I don't know. It smells like a beautiful hop forward beer. So let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Has a nice, I'd say, firm bitterness on the palate, like a moderate bitterness on the finish. Very dry too, like almost full on dry. I think the nose was a little bit more in my face, where it was very aromatic, and the flavors on the palate kind of have carried over, but they've kind of died down in intensity. Body's medium, maybe a touch over, 7%, that's fine. The mouthfeel has a mild to moderate carbonation, more approaching moderate, smooth on the palate. Yeah, I mean, for a West Coast style IPA, pretty standard. And then the taste, it's pretty much what I said in the nose, but again, dialed back a bit. So bready, slightly crackery malt character at the forefront, which makes me, again, feel more of like these new school West Coast IPAs where like the malt character isn't a predominant note on the palate like a lot of old school West Coast IPAs. It's just kind of propping up the hops and making the beer clean as a whole. So that's kind of what's happening here. It hits me at the forefront, bready, crackery, dives underneath the palate, then waves of, I would say, like a white grapefruit, orange. It's zesty, it's pithy, it's almost bittering the first third of the palate, like it hits right in the middle of the tongue. There's a little bit of that Tangelo, little touch of juiciness. I think that hopefully it picks up on camera. I think that was a motorcycle. I don't know what that was. But yeah, all those citrus fruits, again, pithy, zesty, rindy, but also somewhat juicy. Middle of the palate, get a pop of like a peach and a pineapple, and it's sweet over ripened tropical fruits. That's really the only tropical fruits here, but it's definitely here. And again, that's where I'd say this is more like a new school West Coast IPA, more so than the old school. But on the finish is where I get that resinous pine, somewhat floral and earthy finish, touch of dankness too. And it's moderately bitter, but also firmly dry. So this is not a sweet beer. This is an IPA how it's supposed to be, especially if it's West Coast style. It's not setting a new standard. It's not anything outside of the norm. And it's on the side it says it's not normal. It's like kind of like their tagline. This is just a well-made, to me, like a well-executed, enjoyable West Coast style IPA. It has some old school influence, but a lot of the new school as well. It's not over the top. This is for 7% too, scary drinkable, picking up on no alcohol anywhere. It's going down very easily, and it might even be a little bit lighter than 7%. I said like medium touch over medium. This drink's like it's like 6, maybe 6.5. So if you wanted like a sessionable, I think, West Coast IPA that has some nice flavors, very easy to drink, this would be the beer I would say seek out from Three Floyds. Three Floyds kind of a shelfie brewery now, which always makes me laugh when I say that, because like for so many years, getting your hands on like Zombie Dust or even a Gumball Head or something like that from them was very difficult. You had to trade, or like when it would show up at places, you'd be like one bottle per person, or like 1 6-pack per person. And now, Zombie Dust is all over the place here in the Buffalo, New York area on shelves at grocery stores and shit. It's crazy. It's wild. Never thought I'd see the day. Anyway, Turbo Reaper IPA from Three Floyds. Not going to give it a crazy high score. I think I'm okay with giving this beer a high 4 out of 5. We'll go 4.05. Not the best from Three Floyds, but also pretty damn good. Like I said, this is like a prototypical West Coast style IPA, especially some of the newer West Coast style IPAs. I feel it kind of has a little bit more fruit character, but I still like that moderate bitterness, and that dryness really does help out on the back of the palate. And the artwork, like I said, from Three Floyds, always fantastic. We'll read the side, like I said. Without warning, something's dawning as our latest West Coast style IPA awaits your defenseless thirst. As colossal hop aromas ride in harmony with tropical and citrus notes, yes, you better run for cover. There is no other. I'm going to need you to rein that in a little bit. Three Floyds, I can get with it. All right, anyway. Price point availability. I want to say 6-packs of this were like $12.99, $13.99 a 6-pack, so not crazy. It's Three Floyds, it's 7%, it's a West Coast IPA. You're talking just over $2 a can of a 12 fluid ounce can. I'm okay with that. Not like the best value, but it is Three Floyds. They make quality products. I'm totally all right with it. And availability, I have no idea. Go to Three Floyds website. They probably have a beer finder. If not, if you see Three Floyds stuff in your area, this is a year-round offering according to their website. So if that is the case, you might see this one in your travels, to pick up some beer. If you don't see Three Floyds, you probably won't see this one, but they get in a lot of different states now. They're definitely way bigger and way more prominent than they were back in the day in terms of getting their beer out there. So yeah, anyway, if you've had this beer before, post in the comment section and let me know what you think about it. I'm going to go drink the rest of this probably in like 10 minutes. It's going down extremely, like I said, easily on the palate, which is kind of scary for a West Coast IPA, which is why I think it's like kind of more to the new school style, where it's not like gripping my palate with like a crazy bitterness or over the top, hop character on the finish, but fine by me. Anyway, to the next one. Cheers.